And my husband will tell you I'm kind of picky about that sometimes. But just want to kind of look at all this. Today we're talking about contagious love. Actually, in a little bit, we're going to change the term contagious love to sticky faith. Did everybody get a bulletin? They're in the things now. If you want to go grab one, there is an outline on them if you want to follow along to fill in. It's a whole lot different, not the big sheets this year, but we're getting ready to start a new series, which we've been in the Bible series for so long. I told Brian I kind of forgot how to prepare a sermon that wasn't just about straight scripture. So it was kind of fun. I had some fun doing this. So we're going to start off by looking at the theme passages that we're going to be spending a lot of time in for the next couple of months. And we're going to read them two different ways. And I already see a typo on my slide, so I'll fix it for you. I'll tell you what it is when we get there. All right, 1 Corinthians 13, 3 through 10 tells us, if I gave everything I have to the poor, and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. And it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. Now our knowledge is partial and incomplete, and even the gift of prophecy reveals only part of the whole picture. But when the time of perfection comes, these partial things will become useless. Okay, that's out of the New Living Translation. And let me explain, the New Living Translation means a whole lot of people came together, studied the old languages, and decided this is what it probably says. Now the next one says NLT, but that's not right. It's typo. Should be the Message. And this is a paraphrase, which means one person took the scripture and changed it to what they thought it said. And here's what he said. If I give everything I own to the poor, and even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr, but I don't love, I've gotten nowhere. So no matter what I say, what I believe, what I do, I'm bankrupt without love. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut, doesn't have a swelled head, doesn't force itself on others, isn't always me first, doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't keep score of the sins of others, doesn't revel when others grovel, takes pleasure in the flowering of truth, puts up with anything, trusts God always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end. Love never dies. Inspired speech will be over someday. Praying in tongues will end. Understanding will reach its limit. We know only a portion of the truth. And what we say about God is always incomplete. But when the complete arrives, our incomplete will be canceled. Now, any of you have that all figured out and there's nothing on that list you need to work on? Okay, I guess we need to continue. We need to move on. So here's the challenge. You're getting it early, not at the end. Resolved. I want to be about love. I want to be about love. So the challenge is read these passages and be honest. What areas do you need work on? And be ready, because God will give you opportunities to grow and develop in your weak areas. Okay, let me put it this way. The very first one in the love passage is love is patient. Anybody got that one figured out? Slowly put my hand down. We all need patience. And if you ask for patience, how do you think God will answer that prayer? By putting you in situations where you have to be patient. Not quickly, but it will be worth it. I had the opportunity to go to a conference last year that really was for student ministry. But as I spent the day listening to these millions, literally millions of dollars that had gone into the research I'm going to share with you, I thought, this needs to be church-wide. This is not just for students. And the book is called Sticky Faith by Karen E. Powell, Brad M. Griffin, and Cheryl A. Crawford. So I will share a little bit with you from some of that. Sticky faith is this. you develop stay with you. Now, I'm not going to ask you to share personal illustrations to prove this, but how many of you are going, yep, absolutely. The bad habits that we form stick with us. The good habits that we form stick with us. How many of you have already broken the major resolution? Or how many of you just resolved to not make them anymore? Sorry, because we know we're going to break them. Here's what I'm saying. We need to resolve, love God, resolve, love people, resolve missed opportunities. And if you're tired of hearing this, too bad. Because this is what the Christian needs to do. This is our lifestyle. This is what we've chose. And it needs to be all the time. How is your faith? To love God, love people, and to miss no opportunities, we must have sticky faith. Now just think about, how many of you baked something or created something or got into glue and you know what sticky is, right? You know, just trying to open boxes with all of the tape. My sister is a tape fiend. I bet she used 8 to 12 rolls of tape just this Christmas. My hands were sticky after even opening some of the presents. Faith is a part of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and that's on your outline. Faith is a part of our actions, emotions, our thoughts. So the question is your faith priority or not? Now, before you quickly say yes, think a little bit, because there really are only 2 answers, yes or no. Is your faith a priority? Now, don't judge the people who aren't here today. We're not playing that game. But think through in your own life, when are things absolutely priority, and you know that they are? Let me ask this question. How much do you love Jesus? Now, sitting here in this room, we're warm, we're fine, everything's good, the lights are still on, let's hope they stay on throughout the day. How much do you love Jesus? Your everyday life will reveal how much you love Jesus. And the entire month of January and February, we are going to be exploring love in a series I've titled, You Were Made to Love. When the snow stops, we'll have to get back out. Did you notice the sign, the T moved over? It's kind of hard to read. But that's our theme for the months of January and February. You were made to love. How much do you love Jesus? Your actions answer this question. How do you treat people? How do you act even when things are inconvenient? Brian and I went to Edinburgh, as he said, and we had booked a hotel online. You know, we really have bad luck with booking motels online. I got there, and I said, hi, we have a room, we're checking in today. And she said, oh, how do you say your name? It's really pretty. I hadn't said my last name, which tells me we're the only reservation, which is a red flag, right? Huge red flag. So then she says, okay, well, here's the rate. I said, oh, no, we booked online and we got it for this price. Oh, I don't have that information. So I said, okay, just a minute. And I went back out to the car, got the nice little paper and printed off with the nice rate that we wanted. And she went on to try to explain to me how I could get that rate and what it took to get that rate. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm going to strangle this woman. It was obnoxious. And so I finally said, ma'am, can I just have my room? And she looked at me and said, oh, would you like me to tell you about your discounts, or should I just keep my mouth shut? And I'm sitting there thinking, just give me my room. And I'm smiling and not trying to be too rude. Sometimes it's hard. Have you ever encountered a salesperson, of course not January, but any other salesperson who's maybe had a bad day and they don't want to help you, or students at school, some of you work in those situations, maybe it's even your own children and your own families. We'll move on quickly. Our actions always answer the question, how much